Hey friends! My name is Desiree, aka Mama Friendly, and I do all sorts of videos on this channel. Cooking videos, planner videos, vlogs, hauls, homeschool videos with a Disney twist, a little bit of everything. So if any of this sounds like fun to you, I hope that you will subscribe and join me on my YouTube adventure. Today's video is the latest installment in a series that's being hosted by my friend Tiffany at Small Town 6. For over a year now, she's been challenging us monthly to do these food challenge collabs. And typically the point of the food challenges is to either cook with a specific ingredient or make a recipe that fits a specific theme. This month, we're supposed to be making our favorite carbs. So breads, pastries, cakes, whatever fits the bill. Carbs that we enjoy, which I mean, who doesn't love carbs? As somebody that did keto for 2.5 years, carbs are up there, man. I may not be doing keto anymore, but I have been gluten, dairy, and soy-free for a number of years, over 7 years now. I don't mess around with it whatsoever. I do not cheat. It is not worth it. I feel terrible if I try. So it's been many, many years that everything I've cooked and eaten has been gluten and dairy free. And I bake on this channel all the time. I have over 50, maybe even over 60 desserts in a playlist already on my channel, which I'll post up here in case you're curious. But something that I don't do very much on this channel is share many breakfast recipes. And this recipe is one that I really love because yes, it's breakfast, but it's also super versatile. It makes for a great dessert or snack because it's really, really quick. And I actually really like to use this recipe as part of like meal preps because I can refrigerate the leftovers and eat them throughout the week. I'm talking about oven pancakes. So basically I have found a recipe that is gluten and dairy free, but still gives you nice fluffy pancakes. You could top them with whatever you like or leave them plain and just top them with syrup. They come together super quickly. They bake up in under 20 minutes. And like I said, you can feed them to your family all at once. If it's just you or just a couple people, you'll have leftovers and you can eat them later in the week. Really versatile, really fast. What else could you ask for in a recipe? Now, before we jump in, I do want to remind you that because this is a collab, there's a playlist. So once you're finished watching my video, you can check out the description box, click that link, and you can see what all my friends made this month for their carb challenge. So now, let's jump right in and let me show you how I make these pancakes. Alrighty friends, as always, we're going to begin with our ingredients. And actually, if you just mix the dry ingredients and leave them aside, this creates a pancake mix that you can use at a later date. You can either make them in the pan or make them in the oven like I'm about to show you. So the dry ingredients are as follows. You need 1.5 cups of gum-free, gluten-free flour blend. That's 210 grams if you like to measure it out like I do. If you'd like, you can add a 1/4 teaspoon xanthan gum, and that way it'll kind of make the texture a little chewier, a little fluffier, but that's entirely up to you. 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And that's gonna do it for our dry ingredients. Typically sugar goes in the wet ingredients, but I wanted to separate the pancake mix stuff first so that if you wanted to, you could stop right here and just have the gluten-free pancake mix at the ready whenever you'd like. Once you're ready to make your pancakes, you need 1.5 cups of milk. I'm using, of course, my dairy-free nut pods, the original flavor. It's the best thing for cooking and baking everything in my opinion. Here's a note for you though, if you do not use the xanthan gum in the dry mix, then you can get away with using 1.25 cups of milk as opposed to 1.5 cups. So you would use 10 ounces of milk if you're not doing the xanthan gum, 12 ounces of milk if you are. You also need 2 eggs at room temperature. Make sure you beat them first so you don't have to worry about over mixing the batter later. And 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melted and cooled. I measured out 28 grams of my favorite non-dairy butter, which is the Kite Hill brand. So to start, we're gonna preheat our oven to 400 degrees, and I'm lining a 10 by 15 by 1 inch jelly roll pan with parchment paper so that it does not stick. If you'd like, you can use a 9 by 13 by 1 inch quarter sheet pan and increase the baking time by 3 minutes. I ended up doing this as well, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. To make the dry mix, place all of the ingredients in a large bowl and whisk to combine well. And like I said, you could store this in a sealed container until you're ready to use it. You can freeze it for longer storage, or you can go ahead and continue right now with our actual recipe. To make our sheet pan pancakes, place your dry mix in a large bowl, whisk it to break up any lumps, and create a small well in the center. To the well, we're going to add our milk, eggs, and melted butter, and we're going to mix vigorously to combine. The batter should be pourable. We're going to pour it into our prepared pan and give it a little bit of a rotation so that everything is nice and even. And now we're going to place our pan in the center of our preheated oven and bake until it's puffed up and just beginning to brown on the edges. It took me about 15 minutes. Remove from the oven and allow to cool in the pan for 2-3 minutes before you remove them from the pan, slice them into squares, and serve them with your favorite toppings. As you can see, I added bananas, blueberries, and chocolate chips to mine, and all of them were absolutely delicious. All right, friends, that's that. The video is probably longer than it takes to actually mix up your batter. It's really, really quick. The kids will love helping with this because it's really just a matter of like pour and mix. And I used bananas, blueberries, chocolate chips, but you could use strawberries, you could use peanut butter chips, whatever floats your boat, whatever you think sounds good in pancakes, try it out. I actually really love the chocolate chip ones as like an after dinner treat. So I keep them in the fridge and I just eat them straight from the fridge cold, although you could just toss them in the oven to warm them up. Speaking of, I made these a second time for the sake of the video with a smaller pan because the recipe I found did say that you could use a smaller pan also. So this one was a 9 by 13, still a cookie sheet, but let's say it was like a quarter cookie sheet. I cooked them for 3 minutes longer because since it was a smaller sheet with the same amount of batter, the pancakes were thicker and fluffier. I actually preferred it that way. So if you're a fan of fluffy pancakes, I would downsize your pan and cook them for 18 minutes instead of 15 for the same temperature. Perfect. That's my preferred method from now on. So yay for experimenting, because if it weren't for the video, I wouldn't have made them that way at all. That's gonna be the way I do it from now on. What's your favorite pancake topping? Let me know in the comments. And if you decide to make this recipe, I'd love for you to come on back and let me know how it works out for you. Remember before you go to check out that playlist link in the description box so you could see what all my friends made for their Carbs challenge this month. And as always, I want to thank you so much for being here and watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope that you will please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you would subscribe and click that notification bell because I post at least 3 times a week and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. Bye!